First tonight, we want to get you caught up on two big decisions on high-profile cases. Sentencing came down today in both the Derek Chauvin case and the Ronnie Oneal case. So let's start in Hillsborough County tonight. A Riverview man was convicted of murdering his girlfriend and daughter with special needs before trying to light his 8-year-old son in the family house on fire in 2018. Just about a half an hour ago, the jury did not unanimously agree to a death sentence, therefore recommended a life sentence. 10 Tampa Bay's Bo Zimmer has been following this case from the beginning. Bo, the jury spent hours deliberating.
Yeah, and Allison, I had a chance to talk actually with one of the alternate jurors who was not part of this decision but was released early, and she said she felt, after sitting through this entire trial, she felt very strongly about recommending the death sentence in this case, and she felt there were others as part of this 12-person jury who felt the same way, but ultimately this had to be a unanimous decision. And the defense was able to present apparently enough evidence about Oneal's past, his struggles with mental illness, and they also had that expert testimony that he was experiencing psychological disturbance and delusions on the night of the murders, that at least one of these jurors decided death was not the appropriate sentence. The prosecution was clearly pushing for that death penalty, and earlier today, both sides did their very best to convince the jury.
He exercised zero mercy for these individuals. None. Not an iota of pity. On that one aggravator alone, this defendant should be sentenced to death.
What Ronnie didn't know that night is that he was dealing with a delusional disorder, that he was dealing with PTSD, that he was dealing with a severe, invisible mental illness. He's a human being who's committed a horrible crime. But
now, the official sentencing is scheduled for July 23rd, but the mandatory sentence in this case does now become life without the possibility of parole in prison. And at that next hearing, we're told the family, the victim's family, will have the opportunity to speak directly to Oneal if they choose. And of course, that should be some very emotional testimony from them after sitting through this very, very emotional 2-week trial. Guys?
Yeah, it's certainly been a long 2 weeks in the courtroom, but the case actually began in 2018. So let's run through how we got to this point. Oneal's girlfriend, 33-year-old Kenyatta Barron, and the couple's 9-year-old daughter were murdered on March 18, 2018 at their Hillsborough County home. The couple's 8-year-old son was stabbed but survived the attack. Then weeks later, Oneal pleaded not guilty to the murders and the attempted murder of his son. In October 2018, a judge found Oneal was not competent to stand trial. It was nearly a year later when he was found competent and the case was able to move forward. After jury selection earlier this month, Oneal represented himself in the trial. On Monday, he was found guilty and the case then moved to the sentencing phase.